Okay, so I think there are lots of things that are possible with this view. So for example, to compare, so the advantage of having two views side by side, as I mentioned earlier, not only that allows you to compare your, say, weekly goals to your monthly goals, but it also allows you to compare your, for example, monthly to monthly goals. And what's interesting here is that you can compare your monthly completed goals to monthly delayed goals. And not only yours, you can select anybody on the top. So for example, if it's a manager that you're talking about, he would like to see the progress of the particular employee or a particular team member that's in his team. So he selects his name, delegate corporate goals delegated from all to that particular team member, and he says, okay, let's take a look how this guy is doing. So he basically selects, let's say he'd like to see his progress on a weekly basis. So he selects his name on the top, so he would select goals corporate from all to that particular person, and then on the left he would select weekly if he would like to compare all the completed to all delayed goals. So he would select weekly on the left and then completed, and then on the right he would select weekly and then delayed. So you see a very nice view of what goals were completed and what delayed. And you could make some decisions. So as you see, it's very, very easy, very fast, and you get an extremely good insight into the progress here. Okay, there are a few more points that I'd like to mention in this view. For example, there is this Add New button with a green plus. What it allows you is a shortcut to create a new goal or create a new task. In this case, tasks are goal and goals are the same. So when you click on Add New, you have a new window where you can select different options. Basically time frame. So this is basically what we call time frame, weekly, monthly, etc., etc. Normally you do not need to change the time frame. It's adjusted automatically depending on where you click. So for example, if you're inside of a weekly goals and you click on Add New, you will be adding a new weekly goal. So basically the only thing you have to do is to type a name, perhaps select the parent. It gives you the option of which parent this goal should have, and then you can select the type of the goal, whether it's corporate or any of your personal goals. You can also select priority, and this is another big topic. 4 options here. So A is normally very urgent and very important. So those are things that you work on right away. So those are really A priority goals. Don't worry about anything else. Just get these goals done. Now B goals are actually goals that are important but not urgent. So that's really a second priority goals that you'll have to be working on. Let's make sure we understand that it's not the urgency that is important to work on first, it's the importance of the goal. So if it's a goal, even this goal is not urgent but it's important, it still has a higher priority over urgent but not important goals. Goal type C would be some task which is urgent but not important. Those things are done after you completed all the rest. And D goals are basically something you would rather forget about them. You can delegate it to somebody else who has maybe a need for some training in a specific area. So D goals are basically not urgent and not important. Normally they should never be done unless it's your hobby. This is so much about the goals. Again, the next thing would be delegate to. You can select people you'd like to delegate to. By default, it's the current user that's selected, and deadline. So you can also select when you'd like to have it finished. Now the file section, it works when you first save the goal. Then you can open it again and add files to it. So for example, you delegated some graphic design project to a designer, and that's where the results could be uploaded. So basically any type of file can be uploaded and shared. Okay, the progress, the next field here is progress field. And that's where a person who is completing the goal is typing, they can type the number, from 0 to 100. If the progress is in percents, if it's 100% complete, if the progress is 100%, the goal is considered completed. It shows with that nice green check mark behind it in the overview. If it's less than 100% complete, let's say it's 30 or 70% complete, in this overview you have a little progress bar just beneath the goal. You probably see it in some goals. When you put your mouse over that progress bar, you see how many percents exactly is that goal completed. 20, 30, 60, 70. So it's again good information overview for the manager who can see what he has delegated to whom, when it is due, and what the progress status is. the last two sections or last two fields in this goal detail view is discarded. So let's say a goal is not important anymore or that project got cancelled, so you basically say discard it to yes. These goals are still in the system, they are still searchable, you can still access them, they just don't show in the normal view. And the results text field is basically an area where you can type any text or any paste links, etc., that is associated with the completion or with delegation of this goal. So you can explain exactly what you would like that particular person to do, and that particular person that you're delegating the goal to can make notes as they research the topic, etc. All this information is indexed and can be searched from any place in iFocus, so it really becomes a pretty interesting way to start your own corporate knowledge management system. So nothing you work on or your people are working on is lost, you always have it there. So if you'd like to revert back or search if you worked on some specific technology, you can always do that even if it's a few years after. And you can search it corporation-wide, so you can also find out, oh, do we have programmers in Ajax? I have somebody who is experienced in Ajax in India, so I'd like to contact our people there, and it can be used in a variety of different ways. So when you click Save, it basically adds a new goal or edits the existing goal. And that's about it. You can click on different goals here in this view and see the details, see the results. If you have the edit rights, you can delegate it to somebody else. You can change the parent of the goal priority, and all upload files, delete files, etc. One final thing I'd like to mention in this view is the Work On button. Behind each goal, you have this little graphic that looks like the older symbols for enter. And when you actually just mouse over it, it says work on this task. What's really good about this view is that you see your goals and you see your time log side by side. So basically your goals list, especially your daily and weekly views, that would be something you would have to work right away. So it's basically your to-do list. When you click on this Work On button, it automatically adds this goal to the time log, basically meaning that you're working on this goal. So just with one click, you can say, okay, I'm working on this goal. I don't have to select the project or activity or a new task on the bottom to add this to my time log. It adds this goal automatically here. I think we should stop right now. Let's revert to your questions and we can continue next time.
Maybe I can ask one technical question. How connectable is iFocus to, let's say, open source content management systems like Drupal?
I would say this is in terms of exchanging data and adding a new goal from Drupal, or adding a new, let's say, doing some sort of workflow management for Drupal based on iFocus. This wouldn't be any problem. Drupal is based on PHP programming language, which is not as secure and as business ready as Java is. General integration, it's basically the same database, it's open standard. Thanks a lot for all the participants. If you have any questions, feel free to contact either Axel at axel.moser@caret-solutions.de or me, Roman, at webservicecenter.net. We'd be happy to answer your questions and be happy to hear if you have any other suggestions for new features or how this can be used to improve the organization and time management goal setting in your organization.